Welcome. This is made for reliving or learning about university. Vod, the rebel, walks into the shared house and is greeted by Howard, who is cooking Peking ducks with a hairdryer, also with his dick out.
Sorry, I've just got used to wearing trousers of the mind.
The rest of the housemates get to know each other down the pub. Kingsley lands a hot date, but Howard thinks he will get the praying mantis treatment.
Don't do this. This does not happen. It's a trap. Your kidneys are going on eBay, pal. She's gonna eat you, and not in the good way.
So Josie shags JP in a haze of commitment of trying new things, despite not knowing that he is a housemate. Vod peer pressures Oregon into letting her steal her essay. Josie learns Kingsley didn't get laid and instead was almost inducted into a cult, Christianity. Howard and JP square off for use of the private upstairs toilet.
You will pay for using my humanity against me, you beast.
Tony Shales, Oregon and Vod's professor, throws all their essays in the bin. Oregon protests until she slips into bed with him. Kingsley and Josie try to get JP to leave, so he tells Kingsley about their mashing of their mange plunge. So, Kingsley ghosts Josie on their meet-up. Vod catches Howard blow-drying his pubes. Kingsley is enjoying making jokes about Josie's lay with JP.
Help themselves.
Which is your motto, right? I'm kidding.
Josie walks in on JP sneakily stashing his gym equipment in the empty room where housemate Paul is meant to be staying. However, Paul has never been seen. She tells JP their shag was a mistake and not to talk about it. JP doesn't hear a word and continues to flatter her.
I'm not being chivalrous here, although obviously I am. But I'm not ashamed of doing you.
Howard finds Russell Brand's wax head that Vod threw away. JP sees his friends from his old school that immediately start taking the piss out of him as he continues to suck up to them. Realizing their social life has all the energy of a graveyard, the housemates decide to throw a proper student party to escape social Siberia. JP accidentally invites the geology tutor, who messages back enthusiastically. The girls go out to invite people to the party, but they only get guys to come, which irritates and embarrasses JP in front of his posh school buddies. So, he shows them his gym room and tries to impress them by using the rowing machine while smoking a joint. Kingsley meets Josie's boyfriend, Dave, who randomly appears at the party. He surprises Josie, which gives her a shock. JP boasts to his mates that he shagged Josie, so they go over to ask her in front of her boyfriend. Kingsley saves the day by telling them JP didn't have sex with Josie and just pulled himself off. The fictional Paul throws all of JP's and his friends' weight out the window. JP tries to convince Kingsley to change courses to drama with him to get girls. Josie gets the whole house except Kingsley to sign up to a blind date. Oregon is invited to do some work at her professor's house. Kingsley switches to drama and goes to celebrate with JP, but he said he was joking. Vod and Howard are paired together for their date, so Howard shows her all the tricks to beat the buffet.
There's such a fine line between maniac and genius, isn't there?
Josie is ghosted, but only because the guy died. Howard falls in love with Vod after their date. Oregon shows up to Shale's house, but his wife answers and makes her clean. Dan, the geology tutor, shows up hurt that Kingsley left his course. JP is worried that he raped his date as he found a flyer on his bed, after sex, about rape. So he starts overcompensating for possible previous misunderstandings. Tony gets Oregon to clean for him again, but then ends up finally having sex with her. Kingsley tries to return to geology, but Dan, the geology man, is not having it. Vod tries to lay Howard down gently, but he doesn't get the message, so she has to outright say it. Howard flips out and then eats chocolates on his bed while almost crying. The housemates are bonding over the classic, "How did you lose your V-plate?" Until Kingsley, in a bid to impress, reveals he lost it at 12 with a 35-year-old woman. The housemates are not impressed. Tony and Oregon are about to resume their little love fest when a maid walks in and almost catches them in the act. Josie asks for more deets on the underage sex attack, but finds out Kingsley made it up to hide the fact he is a virgin. She immediately tells Vod and Oregon. Kingsley finds out and is rightfully pissed.
Have you been talking to Josie?
No!
Yeah, she told us.
For fuck's sake!
So the girls convince Josie to make it up to him by initiating his sausage. Kingsley is adapting to his drama class very well. Josie offers Kingsley her parts and says she will split up with Dave, but he puts his nan on the phone, which derails Josie's plan. Kingsley gets invited back to a classmate Ruth's room, and in his naivety, ends up sleeping with her just a few hours before Josie's sesh. Vod really enjoys writing her own essay, after Oregon refuses to let Vod copy her anymore. The big event for Kingsley happens again, but unfortunately, he fails to release the rocket. The housemates are all off to a student protest. Howard brings his new friend Brian, and they infiltrate the vet protest in their master plan. Kingsley goes off with Ruth, which annoys Josie. Vod finds out that Oregon is still seeing Tony after getting a peek at her phone. As the protest starts getting out of control, Josie tries to take charge. Vod confronts Oregon about her and Tony, and Oregon says she told her to do it. So Vod explains she meant if her tutor was like James Franco, not a middle-aged dick splash with a shriveled bell end. Howard and Brian reveal their plan to the protesters that they aren't really vets. Oregon tries to split up with Tony, only to shag him again. Kingsley manages to get back to Josie, but Ruth appears and spills the beans about their sex times. That happened on the same night he slept with Josie. JP gets too into the protest and ends up getting arrested. Later, he has dinner with his dad and expects to get a scrotum wrenching. Instead, his dad explains he had a heart attack. Dave proposes to Josie over the phone. Geology girl catches Howard's eye. This surprises Brian. Kingsley and Josie go to a writer's interview where she steals his idea for a column. Howard has a drink with Lauren, but a guy called Mike is there and derails Howard.
Do you mind if I read?
Vod overdoses and ends up in hospital, to which Kingsley thinks this might make a good story. Howard agrees to go to movie night with Lauren, which really irritates Brian, so he shows up anyway. JP gets a call that his dad has had another hearters, but unfortunately, he is tripping on acid. Brian finally scares off Lauren, which is the last straw for his and Howard's relationship.
You and me, if we've broken up, we're done. If me and you were a couple in a soap opera, I'd be like, I'm leaving you, Brian. I'm leaving you.
Kingsley congratulates Josie on her engagement.
To you and your incredibly short-lived marriage. May your second marriage be longer and happier.
Dave comes to stay at the house. Kingsley is not happy about it and tries to collude the other housemates against him. JP tries to get out of his geology exam by using the fact his dad just died. Kingsley's plan to kick out Dave get wiped out when Dave starts fixing things in the house, causing the other housemates to worship him. Brian tries to make up with Howard badly, but Howard's not interested. So naturally, Brian throws a brick through the window. Oregon gets Tony to change Vod's grade, causing his wife to think Vod is sleeping with him.
She knows. She thinks it's me, but she totally knows. Do you know what? She was fine.
That is so French.
It's fucking French.
Dan, the geology tutor, comes to tell JP the test is postponed, not cancelled. So JP bribes him with a curry to give him the answers. Oregon meets Jean, Tony's wife, and clears the air about the affair. Down the pub, Dave's treating everybody to a good time, but then Brian turns up. He asks Josie to perform a virgin removal for him in front of Dave because she did it for Kingsley. Dave batters him, as you would expect.
Jesus Christ.
Howard, you got my back, right? Brian, I do not have your back. It is 100% his back.
He then leaves to confront Kingsley. Howard rings Kingsley to warn him, so he and JP end up hiding in the bathroom. Revealing Josie also slept with JP, Dave leaves without killing anyone. JP's cheating in the test fails as the paper was switched for a different one. Kingsley manages to crawl back onto his geology course. JP's mates get him to fork out a load of cash for their party Love Cloud and promise they can take him to his dad's funeral and then to the party. Tony moves in.
What the fuck's that arsehole doing here?
You can also call me Tony.
Him living there creates a strange dynamic. Oregon invites the housemates to a dinner party round her new gaff. Tony and his older friends want to talk about mature things until the housemates derail the conversation every time to childish subjects, and then Kingsley and Josie get into a full-on argument about their sex lives. JP is screwed over again when his friends say they can't take him to the funeral and party. So the housemates step up and help him get to the funeral and then the party. Interesting. Vod breaks the fourth wall at the party when Oregon says she and Tony are happy and then starts dancing with random guys. Ralph takes the credit for all of JP's cash for the party, so Vod jumps in and restores JP's role. Kingsley goes to get together with Josie, only to find her in bed with JP again.
I come find you.
That's the worst excuse I've ever heard in my life.
End of part 1.
Myself out today. I sent a letter far away.